I don't know what number we're at. We're almost to number 50, I think. Today we're doing more printing of our little winter print, landscape print. I've got some blue mixed up here. Just have to pull up the comments here on my iPad. Just go to YouTube. Today we're doing some more linoleum or linocut printing, and this is a relief printing, so I'm taking away from the block each time. I have two prints or two versions of the same print going at the same time, so it's two up, so I'm getting double the production in the same amount of time. All right, I just pulled up the stream and now I have the comments going. Great. Turn the volume down and let's get going. So currently our print is looking like this. And we're going to be printing just at the bottom here where the water is. So I've mixed up a little gradation of some nice bright blue. So it's a little bit of a contrast to what we have now. I think I need to liven this image up a little bit. It's a little gray and dull, snowy. So we're going for like an alpine blue lake. So I'm just bringing this gradation up to the middle ground, which is in the distance, which we'll be printing next. So I haven't carved anything away from this block since you've seen the video last. It's just still where it was. So I want to make sure I don't get any pigment into that sky area actually. So I gotta be careful with that. See, I don't want to go over the mountain range that's in the distance there, because then you'll see that blue in the sky. We don't want that. So I gotta really be careful there. Just notice that. So here we go. Let's do our first one. The ink I'm using is called Cranfield, and we have to make sure we keep our registrations marks clean. It's called Cranfield Traditional Etching Inks or Relief Inks. I guess I have both here. These are the relief inks. I don't know what the difference is. I just realized that they say one says etching and one says relief, so I don't know what the difference is. But they're nice because they're in a tube. I can easily squeeze them out, clean them up, and maintain them as I use them along. So here we go. But thanks for joining us, Windover 29. I'm putting this through the press today because it's easy and fast. But you could use a Baron, or you could use the back of a wooden spoon, or you could do whatever else you have around the house. Good afternoon, Pam. Nice to see you here. And there we go, more blue. Wow, it's a very bright blue lake, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit overly blue, but I might change it as I go along today. But most of it's going to be covered up, so you're not going to see a lot of it. So I'm trying to get a little bit of intensity because there's a shadow here and there's trees and an island over it. So I'm trying to get a little bit of pop of color in this one. So I want to make sure I clean this off. I don't want to get it into my sky area. So I can see the drawing that I transferred underneath the ink still. Unfortunately, because this is so close to the registration marks, I'm going to get ink on the registration marks every time. So if I could see that being a problem, so I can see the ink building up in specific spots, I can get my chisel and try to take some of that material away if I don't need it, because it's just going to be very repetitive cleaning it. I'm just taking my chisel here and cleaning off these high areas. You shouldn't do this when the block is covered with fresh ink. You should do it after you do the impression, because now I'm going to get stuff in my ink, but that's okay. And I'm going to clean up this corner one as well. I don't need all the material sticking out so much. So just put that off to the side, those little trimmings. It's looking good. All right, so now we can print this one. I have a couple different kinds of paper that I'm using for this job. This is a thicker, I think this is like Arches 88. A thicker cardstock, 100% cotton rag. They are not water soluble, they are oil-based pigments. They have some sort of Cranfield and other brands make other water-soluble printing inks, but they take forever to dry because there's no drying agents in them. They're literally cut with like vegetable oil or something like that, and it depends on the paper to absorb the ink, and that's how it dries pretty much, through absorption. At least that's, to my knowledge, that's how they work. And you cannot do layering multiple layers because they just never will dry. You'll wait months for the paper to absorb and to dry. Maybe not months, but you'll wait a long time. So what I'm doing here is I'm layering multiple impressions, and I want it to dry pretty much overnight. And these inks pretty much do. But if I know that they're going to be tacky, or if it's a thick application of ink, I'll add a little bit of a drying agent. And I'm not eating this stuff and I'm not touching it. I try to keep my hands very clean. And if I do get ink on my hands, I wash it off right away. But no, I want some oil inks. I don't want water soluble things with soybean oil. So this is the other paper, which is like a thin mulberry paper from Dick Blick, or from blick.com. But I did just find out about some new acrylics. They're called open acrylics. I was looking at them last night. And it's like an acrylic paint that comes in a tube. And it's supposed to stay wet, just like oil paint, for a long time. Normally I use, if I use any acrylics, I use like the, what do I use here? The golden, I'll use something like this once in a while. These fluid acrylics. You know, when I do little paintings in my sketchbook or works on paper and stuff, I have these acrylics, and these are liquid. These are nice, but they dry very fast. So these open acrylics act just like oil, and they say you can use them for printmaking. So I'm curious how those will work with multiple colors and how long they last on the block, how they will work with like a roller and their properties. So I might get some of those and experiment with them. I also am interested in painting with them outside in plein air, see if they react similarly to oil paint. I'm not a huge fan of oil paint or acrylics because I don't know, there's just like something about them that it's like a plasticky kind of finish. I prefer to use oils or watercolor, and I'm experimenting now with some gouache lately. But I'm not a huge fan of acrylics, but you can do some interesting things with it. It's very versatile. There's just something about it that, I don't know, there's just something about it. I prefer oils. But everyone has their own preferences. Use what works for you, but always experiment and try to do different things, because you never know what you're going to like or what's going to work for you. And you can get inspired or learn a new technique just by using a different material. That's why I've been experimenting with gouache lately, because I feel like gouache, it's similar to oil painting where you can build up lights on top of darks, similar to if you're painting with oils, where you can work from a middle ground or a middle tone. You can build it up light and you can build it up dark. You can push and pull it, but it's pretty much just opaque watercolors. But it's difficult to get used to because they dry, the light colors dry darker and the darker colors dry lighter. So it's hard to gauge the value of the colors while you're working. I actually made a little, I'm trying to paint every day as my goal, is to do a little bit of painting every day or sketching something. So I did make a little 45-minute gouache painting today. And this one actually came out decent. This is of an area in the Gunks. I just worked from a photograph. It's called the Woosting Falls. And I love this little cove area with this waterfalls and the rocks. And I'm trying to simplify the scene with this gouache. You know, simplify the greens with just 2 values of green. You know, the reflection in the water, just kind of keep it flat, similar. But the gouache dries flat. You can see how flat that color is. But it's really beautiful if you do it correctly. You can get some really good effects. And I'd like to get good at this because I can work directly from an image like this and make a print from this. I could scan this into my Photoshop and or print it out, and I could cut these colors and these values straight from the block, or design a print based on a painting. And that's kind of what I'm going for with my work. I just want to do more stuff from my paintings and more stuff from life. So that was today's gouache painting. It took 45 minutes. I did it while I was drinking my coffee this morning. And I'd also like to get faster at it and be more efficient. So there's not many people on the stream today, but thank you for joining me. We got a lot of things that are going on. I don't have enough time to accomplish them all, though. That's the problem. I just don't have enough time sometimes. I'm going to be doing some things in the next week or two. I'm going to be putting a section on my website for lessons. So if anyone's interested in lessons or workshops, one-on-one workshops, or you can call it mentoring, or you can call it coaching, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but there's going to be a section on my website. You're going to be able to book an hour with me with a 15-minute complimentary call where we talk about your goals as an artist or a printmaker. And we're going to prepare for our 1-hour session. But you'll also be able to sign up for 3 sessions or 5 sessions at a discounted price. So I'm putting that on my website very soon. I'm also putting up a print on my website very soon for sale. So I got to sit down and do that. I also have to get I'm taking down my exhibition this Sunday, which is hanging in the gunks right now still. I'm taking it down this Sunday. I need to go through, make sure all those images are on my website, ready to go, with a section that clearly defines that it's my exhibition. I'm just going to have it available on my website so you can view the whole exhibition as a whole, piece by piece, with a description. So for those that weren't able to make or see the exhibition, you can view it through my website, and I'll keep that up for a while. And then the pieces that haven't sold, which there aren't many. Well, that's not true. There's probably 10 pieces that haven't sold out of 20, but that's pretty good. Those are going to be available on my website for sale at the same price they were at the exhibition. And then I have to print a new edition of that moon print because there's so many people that still want it, and I'm going to change the colors around a little bit, make another edition of that moon gunks cliffside vertical print. So I have a lot of people still interested in that. I sold the whole edition at the show. I saved one copy for myself. My website's been doing well lately. This month I've sold a bunch of work from my website, which is great, but I'm running out of prints. I'm really low on inventory of like most of my prints that I usually keep stocked. So I really need to sit down and just start printing out inventory. But all of this takes time. So printmaking is, as you can see, it takes time. But I love doing it, and I really enjoy doing it. So that's really blue. On this thicker paper, the blue really is bright, but I kind of like it. I could change these colors a little as we move along. If anyone's getting bored with this blue, we can maybe change it a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to get a little variety in these prints. But at this point, I just kind of want to get it finished. I'm ready for the next project already. I don't know how this print's going to turn out. Could be good, could be a little too simple, I don't know. Just a fun little holiday card print. Plan on handing these out to people, friends and family. Maybe give some away to people in the public to market myself a little bit. A piece of junk on my paper here. Come on, get off. There we go. I also want to start a Patreon page where people can support me and they get prints in return. And put a bunch of videos over there that are exclusive to just the Patreon people, patrons. So when I film these videos for YouTube, I have hours of footage. And if I continue to record or I don't use the footage, and you just get some extra, so a lot of information in these videos. So if you're learning how to do printmaking, you might want to sign up for my Patreon at the lowest level, because I'll just have access to that extra video footage, and you could just sit there and read through it or watch it and learn from it. And then there'll be a second tier where you get those videos, but you also get a print every 6 months, I think. It will be a unique print for Patreon patrons only, and it will be limited edition, and it will be an original print by me. Maybe eventually, I don't know if people get bored with that, I could do a reproduction, but you'll be able to vote on what print you want. I'll give you maybe 2 or 3 options, and the patrons can vote on what print they want. I'll give one in the springtime and one in the fall, probably. Something like that, I don't know. But these are all the things that I want to get up and running in the next, by the new year. Ordered some more paper last night, some new papers for linocut mostly, or woodblock printing. I'm actually going to experiment. I got some watercolor papers that I want to experiment with Mokahanga and see how these watercolor papers. I got like a Fabriano, and then I got what else did I get? Not exactly sure. 2 kinds of watercolor paper. So I always love opening new orders of materials and art supplies. I wonder if this water should be a little bit more green. I can maybe make this blue. Let's change this blue color up a little, just to add a little variety to these prints. Just a little bit. What do I have on here? I got a little bit of ultramarine still on this palette. Oops. I'm going to take like this much. Add a little bit of ultramarine, a little bit green. I'm trying to make this a little deeper color on the end here. Maybe a little Prussian too. Just change it a little bit. See how that looks. have to sit down and edit a new video, new YouTube video. Again, it all takes time. But I'll get it done. It's going to happen. I just have to just keep working hard. So these are getting a little bit lighter as I go along. The background and the base tone is getting a little bit lighter. As the prints go on, they get lighter in value. This is the thinner mulberry paper. A little bit darker at the base. A little bit more green. I'm sure everyone's busy getting ready for Thanksgiving this Thursday. People are probably shopping for food items. I am making 100, I think right around 100, Pam. I'll be sending you one, so here's another one. I started changing up the print, the colors a little bit. They're all a little different, very similar, but very subtle differences. Yeah, that's nice. I like how the gradation is a little bit faster now. So let's take one from the earlier to now. So this one was earlier on. You can see they just changed a little bit. The gradations are getting a little bit faster and a little bit more dramatic. The first few were a little bit flat. I like working like this though with two at the same time. It's really nice. I'd like to do two side by side like this, but have them be different images, similar images, but different, where I'm using the colors twice. But at the end, you have two separate prints. know Dave Bull does that sometimes with his with his Patreon prints, his chibi prints, they calls them. He'll do that, and it's just efficient on materials and printing time and pigments. When you're spending all this time mixing and applying the pigments, you might as well do it to 2 prints. Oops, forgot to put the paper down. So you can tell this one has more snow than this one. It's a little bit less. So that's one difference. Would what be able to control with the water-based? The gradations? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. Oops, I'm going too high here again. Gotta make sure I keep it down. Clean that off. Even this one I'm getting a little too high. Printing too, would it be harder with, I think it would be fine, especially if you just had small areas, or if you're doing like the sky, you could just take the brush and you could just do each one at the same time, you know? I think you could just do it in one stroke, and then just, if you're doing like a gradation across the surface, it really wouldn't be, it's just a matter of moving your arm this much or moving your arm this much. Or like, you know, you just have to be, just take a little bit more time brushing on the pigment. And then if they're close enough, when you're rubbing with the Baron, it would just be a little bit of a larger area. But, oops, I think ultimately you'd save a lot of time. If each image had different colors, that wouldn't make too much sense. But if you're using the same colors for both images in different areas, it does make some sense, I think, to do them both at the same time. You just have to design it so that it works for you, for your benefit. All right, so keep this pigment down here. Hello, Laura. I love how you get such a beautiful gradation with these oil pigments though, with the roller. Like if you were to try to paint that smooth of a gradation with a paintbrush, you can do it. You have to apply the paint in layers and then you have to kind of feather it with a soft brush to, you know, blend it. But look how nice this is and how smooth that transition is. It's just so consistent. It's really amazing. I love that. So I really want to take advantage of these gradations in some future prints. See, I have all these prints that I need to order, or that I need to print that are, I'm running out of. My inventory or stock is running low, but I really just want to keep making new prints. I just want to get to that next project. I'm always excited to get the next project. Gotta make sure I hit this area. This is this corner here, which will be mostly filled with another color, but it's okay. I gotta make sure I start. So yeah, it's a nice little interesting color scheme I got going on. It looks like fabric gradations, like when they dye fabric, like the dye bleeds into the, slowly bleeds into the fabric probably. I had a roommate once that used to make tie-dyes in our apartment and used to occupy the bathtub for a long period of time. They actually made some really nice tie-dye t-shirts. See, this is the, let's just compare these two. This is the thicker Arches 88, which is 100% cotton rag. And this is the mulberry paper. I don't know if you could see any difference in them from a distance. Other than this one's very transparent. You can see through this sheet. That's how thin it is. I really like working on these thinner papers. They're kind of a pain to ship sometimes, so I'm always afraid they're going to get damaged. Where these papers are, these are hardy. If you put this in like photo corners, this thing isn't moving anywhere. But with these, I'm always worried that they're going to shift or slide and the corners are going to get damaged. I notice I get a little ink here. So that's that far side. Just over here, I don't know why I'm getting ink over there. Oh, that was from the other impression. I like the mulberry too. Well, I've noted that, Pam, so I won't send you the thick printmaking, Western printmaking paper. Pam, you ever do collages with just like paper? I feel like you could do a collage and you get the same reward or the same, it's kind of the same process as quilting. And you could do it in probably a quarter of the time. If I send you a bunch of paper with gradations on it and you want to do a collage for me, I'm going to send you that design eventually. It's going to get there. I'm going to do it very soon. I'm sorry, Pam. I'm such a procrastinator when it comes to these things. I'll send it to you when I send you this print. When this is finished and I send this to you, I'll send you that other design that we were talking about in the past. You could also glue down fabric as a collage. You could glue the fabric to like a Bristol board or to like a thicker paper, or even to like a wooden panel. That would be cool. All right, so we are about halfway through because I filled up one side of my drying rack, which holds 20 sheets. And I'll be working on the next side. Where are we at? We're at 46 minutes. There's only a few people on here. I appreciate you being here. I'm probably gonna do one more and then I'll end this stream. It's pretty quiet today. But again, these live streams are just documenting this process, documenting every color and every print on these. some of the people that bought prints for me at my exhibition, they were excited when I was like, hey, you could watch how this print was made. Live stream number 29 to 38 shows you every impression. This print, which print? This print here, I documented almost every, I think I missed just the first few. Let me just pull this out for a second here, unless I don't damage anything else. So this print, I documented pretty much the whole process, except for, I think, the base tone of the sky and maybe that yellow color. But every layer I did a live stream. She bought this print and I said, you can watch this thing being made. And she was really excited. She was going home. She was going to start watching the videos. And I love being able to send that, like if people buy this print for my website, I will include, hey, you know, check out the live streams. I'll send a link to it and they can watch how the print was made. I just think that's a nice feature and a nice added bonus to collecting my prints. So that's a reason why I do these live streams. It's also to hang out with people that are interested. So I really appreciate the support. I forgot if I inked this block yet. I think it looks pretty fresh. You can tell by the roller, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. So I know there's only a few people on these streams. People also watch the replays, so that's kind of catering to the people that watch the replays as well. Yes, have a good Thanksgiving. I might be back tomorrow. Probably be back tomorrow actually doing the next impression. Pretty sure. So maybe I'll see you tomorrow, but if not, have a good Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your time with your family and have a good weekend. Don't eat too much turkey. And there it is. So this is where we'll leave off for today. The next one will be this, the middle ground, like the distance landmass that's right where this gray sky and the blue water meet. There'll be a nice gray right over it. And then we'll be doing the reflection in the water and then a gradation in the tree and the island area. And then this print will be done. It's just a simple print. So we got like 1, 2, probably 3 more impressions to go, maybe 4. So we'll be finishing this print up next week sometime. Thanks for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.